Mystery. Disappearances. Today we're going to have to investigate the strange goings-on around the ShrubSMP starter island and what happened to our llamas on the roller coaster. So I logged on to the ShrubSMP here and picked up pretty much where we left off, only to find that there's one empty minecart and right up here is another one that our llamas were missing. And I was very distraught and I had no idea what had happened. I went instantly to the Minecraft wiki to try to understand what could have possibly happened to our llamas. I did come up with the answer, and it was something quite simple that I'm kind of embarrassed that I didn't know, because I know a little bit about Minecraft mechanics, especially when it comes to mob spawning. You know, typically when it has to deal with something with mob farms or other useful items, I had no idea that llamas have a limited lifespan when they are removed from their leads, and that is something that kind of caught me off guard, but now it makes perfect sense, because if we just take a quick little hop down to where we had them tied up, it turns out that when they are on a lead, which is the little rope that kind of holds them in place against a post like this, which kind of use it like a hitching post, like you would these horses over here that have been tied up just as long for the season. But these are tamed horses, which is why I'm able to, and they're also named, as we're seeing here, and I'm able to put saddles on them. Well, because when these guys lost their master, and again, nothing suspicious happened to that master, trust me, and I had them tied up on here, their despawn tick timer stopped, and it had been that way for months because this happened very early on in the season. And when I removed them to get them up onto the minecart, that timer started, and that timer apparently is 47,999 ticks, which is just about 40 minutes. So what happened was, once I got these guys going around, and 40 minutes later, when I really thought that they were just going to be flying around forever, they despawned, and now their minecarts are left where they were. It's really a shame. Not that we can't replace them, but it's going to take a little while to hopefully figure out that a wandering trader spawns, and then I'm going to have to relieve him of his llamas again, and then prevent them from despawning. So, as the sun is setting in the distance, we'll talk about that in a minute, and then decide what it is we're going to do next with this area. And I believe as we do that, we're going to work on clearing out the tunnel area over there, which is linked to the name, and we'll explain that in just a moment. So yeah, as we look out over the area we talked about last time, and we're going to go ahead and do it this time, is to clear out the landscape on the side of the underwater tunnel. And one of my fellow shrubs on the server suggested that this reminded them of the song Secret Tunnel from Avatar: The Last Airbender, and then in the comments there were some suggestions about landing on the name of Sokka and Katara. So that's exactly what I was going to do when I logged on to the server today before I found out they were missing. We'll see in the end exactly what our vision is, but go down here and kind of, we want to see the secret tunnel, as we're going to have to lovingly call it now at this point, and push back the land so that we can have that glass tunnel underneath seeable and visible. And then we'll get to the business of trying to find a couple new llamas so that we can name them Sokka and Katana, and then get them back on the ride and have our roller coaster operating with permanent llamas, not llamas that despawn in 40 minutes. So we'll leave that post here in memory. I think what we're also going to do is probably going to make a little memorial for our disappeared llamas and put that somewhere maybe on the opposite side of the island. But in the meantime, it's time to get started on this excavation project. So what we're going to do is do a little time lapse of the first part of it, which is the rough outline of the 90-degree turn just over my head here, where we'll expose the tunnel going all the way underneath from side to side. Let's go! It was at this moment that I had an unexpected but very welcome visitor. How you doing there, mister? I see you have a nice llama here. I don't know where your other llama is, but any chance I could get this llama off of you? I'll tell you what, if we just turn out the lights. Oh, look at this, I found your friend. Now, you're a little mad at me, so I'm gonna have to sneak on over here. Give you your friend and then run away, so here we go. Come on down, come on down, come on down. Right there. Okay, good. You two just forget I was here. Just you didn't see anything. Yeah, your master, he might be gone. I don't know. We'll come back to you in a little bit. But so that was kind of fortunate. I was really waiting for one of those guys to spawn, and I happened to go back. Why did I go back? I went back to go in my house so that I could quick look for some kelp, because what we've run into is a water problem. At the end of that time lapse there, we saw that I desperately was trying to fill in the rest of the giant hole in the river that was left from removing a bunch of blocks, and unfortunately the problem with water is it's too complicated to explain, but we saw the result of taking away too many blocks without replacing some of the water sources behind it. Now what I'm looking for is a little bit of kelp, so I might have to go quick fly. Do I have any? I don't. So I'm gonna go quick grab some kelp and try a little trick, and we'll see if we can get that water to fill in all by itself. So I'm gonna go ahead and fly off, find some kelp, and we'll be right back. How could I forget? Over here in Spawn Town, there's plenty in the water, so we can just quick snap some, take a little bit off the top and collect it, and then head back over. All right. Looking down from above here, we see that the water has really ended when the source blocks aren't there anymore, because that used to be all solid land, and then it only spreads so far when you take the land away, and we're left with this big hole. So what I'm going to try to do is head down there, jump on down, and try this trick that we used over in the Guardian farm to fill out the water source blocks. Now I don't know if this is going to work. It will work. The trick is, though, I have to put a lot down, and then from there use bone meal, which I have to go grab some. And when the kelp grows, it then, see how it expands the water? And I think if we just keep doing that, we'll be able to get it to spread and fill in this hole if we get it just right. So I'm going to go ahead, go grab some bone meal and try to make this work along this wall, and hopefully we'll see how it goes. All right, I've got the bone meal. We're gonna pop down in here and see if we can get these things to expand. They are naturally expanding as this grows, but of course we want to accelerate the process and see if we can make it really work out. So here we go. We got it. It's definitely working. The water's expanding, so I kind of have to do these one at a time. I wish there was a faster way. There probably is a faster way. More water dynamic, water physics Minecrafters out there probably know a lot better than I do, but this is one area of the game, water physics, that has always confused me. It's very complex, and when you get into these open blocks and source blocks and flowing blocks, they all have these different states, and the game calculates them all differently, well beyond my knowledge base. So, like I said, we'll keep this going and come back when I have it all filled out. Alright, it was definitely working, so I think if I've got this understood correctly, I put a whole row of kelp there at the bottom, right in the middle of the missing blocks, and I think if I go from far away where those taller blocks are, right there, right above my head, all the way down, and I do them in sequence, I can fill in the rest of this river. So I'm going to try to capture that in a third-person time-lapse, and we'll see if it looks cool or not. I really do want to see the water fill in. I think that's going to be a cool effect if it happens. If it doesn't happen, we'll eventually get this river filled in, and then we will have the first big part of this tunnel project done. Well, I don't know if it's fitting or not that it started raining right as I finished it off, but you saw there at the end of that time lapse, I did get the effect I finally was looking for right near the end, where once it hits critical mass, the rest of the water just started filling in all the way down here to the corner. We got it done one way or the other, and now if we just fly up and look back from overhead, we'll go to the top of the roller coaster here and take a look down at the tunnel. We can see now, we can see it all the way through from side to the other side, at least this face of it. We'll get that kelp out of the way in just a few moments, but yeah, there it is. So that's at least the first half. Now we have to work on the other side, where we're going to kind of blend the terrain upwards towards the top of the hill so it looks a little more natural. I'm going to be working on that off camera, and then before we get out of here, now that we have those two llamas that mysteriously just found their way over to the front of my base once again, we'll go ahead and name them and get them off their leads and put them onto the roller coaster. I'm glad I found these guys, and I know they're glad to be here, and they're going to be even more glad when we get them up there on the roller coaster. All right, now that we have our 2 llamas named, I tamed them just before I came down here, so now that it's double safe. They're tamed, they're both tamed to me. After you tame them, I named them as we just saw with the name tags, and we now have Sokka and Katara. I have to set up the rail tracks to get them back up on like we did last episode, and we'll do that real quick and get them rolling on the forever trip around the roller coaster. All right, I got the temporary rails all set up, and all we got to do now is hop off the llama. So we'll start with Katara and try to coax them into the minecart if we can get... Oh, there we go. Okay, we got the minecart. The lead's broken. And all I got to do is push Katara up just a little bit to get on the redstone. And away they go. And way up to the top and along the track. Now all we have to do is get them onto that first source block. And might just take a little extra push. Not going to make the same mistake I made last time of going backwards. We're going to push them forwards. And Katara is off, and there they go. Come on, get up to the second one so that I can go back and get Sokka. All right, time to go. They're on their way. Let's fly down to the bottom and line up Sokka so we can get Sokka onto the minecart and onto the track, and from there we're just going to be able to know safely that they're finally on forever. They're not going to despawn like they did last time, and they have names, and they will forever be known as Sokka and Katara on the forever roller coaster ride that we have here on the ShrubSMP in the starter island and going through the aptly named secret tunnel. So again, we're just going to push Sokka forward, and there they go. Up, up, up and away. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're on the permanent track. So all we have to do now is take down the temporary track and we're done. We have them going. They should be going all around. We'll take a look. Oh, wait, no, that was... Yes, there goes one on the other side. That should be Katara on the other side right now, going up and down. Perfect. I love this. All right, so now that we have all that back together, we'll clean this up and we'll take one last look at everything to see what we're going to have to do next and figure out where we pick up next time. All right, here we are once again atop, and look at them both going in different directions right now, which is exactly what we want. We want them to be at different parts of the track. Let's follow whichever one's going into the secret tunnel right now, and there they go. As we can see from above, we'll be able to watch them go through the entire length of this secret tunnel underneath the water and out the other side and continuing along into the entire roller coaster. Boy, we've really got a lot of progress so far, and I'm really happy that while we were doing the tunnel work today, we got a couple new llamas with us, and we were able to name them. We know now they're permanent. They're not going to despawn. There's no more disappearing. I think the only thing left for us to do then for this episode is to bounce around and fly around. A little safe landing there, but oh, there goes the guy. It's so fun. There they go. It's just up and down. Yes, so we have to pay some tribute to our lost llamas. We can't really say, you know, despawning can mean a lot of things in Minecraft. It can mean they've just off to a happier, brighter place, a dimension of filled with llama bliss. We don't really know. But we're gonna go ahead and put like a little something somewhere just tucked away as a little remembrance for the world. When the world is over and we move on to season 7, we'll have something left behind to remember our first 2 llamas when we learn the lesson about the 47,999 ticks that they live before they disappear. So we'll do that right now and then get ready to wrap it up. All right, we've set up a little altar here, a little memoriam underneath the bottom of the tallest peak of the roller coaster with 2 empty mine carts, little 2 wither roses, a lectern for this book, and let's read it right now to see what it says. In remembrance of the inaugural llama riders of the ShrubSMP roller coaster, may that be a peace wherever they are. And we'll just go ahead and leave that right on the lectern as a little Easter egg here, hidden behind the pillar. Not exactly super hidden, but you know, we want people to find it someday when we are complete with this world. And the only last thing left to do is to light the candles for each of them, and we'll just leave this thing be, as any little Easter egg should be, left alone for others to find. With that said, we pretty much completed. As we look out, it's really cool being lit up at night because there's lighting in that tunnel. The secret tunnel where are now our llamas, Sokka and Katara, are running around, rolling around forever, never despawning because we've made sure of that, and that will bring us to a conclusion of this project. Well, with one little exception, almost a conclusion, I wish, because we definitely still have to a little bit of terraforming over there on the other side, even though that the front facing, the important part is complete, that's so to speak. We're the one where we can see into the tunnel. We can't just have an ugly cliff face there. We have to round it out and do that terraforming. But I think that's about all we'll have time for today, as another one of the riders. Oh, look at this. They are passing. Is that not perfect? I hope that timing really stays up, because that was a great little moment there. Ruined by rain. Okay, so when it starts to rain, we know it's probably time to wrap up this episode. We'll go ahead, like I said, and finish the terraforming in between episodes. But our secret tunnel is complete. Our permanent riders are complete. Everything's done as far as the roller coaster is concerned, and we'll have to look forward to next time, where I think it's time to move away from the starter island and head back to the season's major project. We're going to go back to the ancient city redesign and reconstruction project and get some more detailing done down in that building area. But as always, I want to thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next episode.